How's it going? It's Rich here, and today I want to talk about the difference between fluid intelligence and crystallized intelligence. Now, what is fluid intelligence? What is crystallized intelligence? And why are they important? Well, first, let's talk about crystallized intelligence. Crystallized intelligence is the intelligence that we have from learning in an academic way. So, if I read how to ride a bike, and how a bike works and those factors. That's what crystallized intelligence is. Now, on the flip side, there's fluid intelligence, and fluid intelligence is used to solve complex and creative problems. So, when I get on the bike, there's things that I'll learn just from my experience riding a bike that I haven't learned yet, but comes from the past experiences and help me solve those problems. So if I'm riding and suddenly a cat pops out and I brake and like turn my wheel or something like that, that's more fluid intelligence. I didn't learn how to do it through a book. I learned that because I've ridden a bike before and I was able to solve that problem using information that I've gathered through riding a bike. So why is that important? Well, it's important to understand these two types of intelligences because we need both of these intelligences to be the most effective learners. So, in all aspects, there's always that factor of crystallized and fluid intelligence. Take the brain surgeon, you don't want him to be all fluid intelligent and be able to, solve those creative problems without having that crystallized like knowledge of how a brain works. So, the best way you could use this is to one build up your crystallized intelligence, and you do that with learning through books, lectures, things like that. But also work on your fluid intelligence by actually doing things, and when you do things, you learn those small nuances that help you solve the next problem that takes a little bit more creativity. One way that this was introduced in my life was in college. I taught myself how to code, and the way I did before, like how I started off, was I would basically read every book that I could find. I would go on every like website that was teaching people how to code, and I just soak in information. But the challenge with that was that when it came to actually building things with code, I struggled because I didn't have that fluid intelligence. Now, when I got more comfortable with code and coding, I was building that fluid intelligence. And when there was a problem that needed to be solved, I had past experiences that helped me solve those problems. But if I wanted to move up to the next level, I had to go back to the crystallized intelligence and learn a new language or a new technique that would help me get to that next level. So that's a small example on how fluid intelligence and crystallized intelligence works. So I hope you could use that in your learning. Thanks.